I'm Richie Suave Flores.
And I'm Cori Crenshaw.
And this is Sporty with Cori and Richie Suave.
Center field. The Diamondbacks are world champions.
Down is the motion man. Little flip to Fitzgerald. He scores. And the Cardinals win an amazing game.
Mikhail Bucker with a chance. He walks in. He scores. Mikhail Bucker for the second straight game is the hero.
Welcome back in Sporty Nation, and it is now just a couple days after the wondrous World Series this year. That is definitely something we'll be talking about today. And drumroll, our D-back roster of all time.
Yes. Our friend who actually made our logo that you see on Twitter and Instagram, D-back Days, he's been doing a contest on his Instagram page where his followers can choose the 20th anniversary roster for the Diamondbacks. So we thought it'd be cool to go ahead and make our own too.
Yes, it was very interesting. I mean, we pulled up, you can actually pull this up on the Arizona Diamondbacks website. So if you ever want to do this yourself, and it'll give you every single player that has played that position, like ever. So it's really interesting because, you know, over these 20 years, there's been some positions that have had a lot of people, and there's some positions that haven't as many. And it was, I mean, I think most of you could probably guess what direction we went in. But first, we want to talk a little bit about the World Series and just say how excited we are for Houston, their first ever World Series title. Very much deserved, especially for the community there after Hurricane Harvey. So, you know, we're just very happy for them. And it was an exciting series. So I'm just really happy that we got to actually watch all of that, and that it was something that brought so many people to baseball.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was rooting for Houston the entire time. They're a really cool story. They have a lot of players that are super likable outside of Yuli Gurriel, who of course was one of my dicks of the week last week. But they're super fun to watch. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch for many years to come because of the way they've drafted, and they've basically, you know, farmed their own team, I guess, in a way, by drafting their players and bringing them up. Guys like Carlos Correa, who was the number 1 overall pick, guys like George Springer, and that ilk of players. But yeah, Houston needed this, right? It was, especially after Hurricane Harvey. Their quarterback just got hurt. Deshaun Watson's going to be done for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we could literally do an entire segment on quarterbacks getting injured this year.
Yeah, J.J. Watt also already out for the season as well with the Houston Texans. So
poor J.J., he always gets hurt.
Yeah, but at least he did. Speaking of community-wise, he made all that money charity-wise, $20+ million for Houston after the hurricane. So it was really cool for the Astros to win. I'm glad it happened, and it was even better that it came against the freaking Dodgers. 1988.
Yeah, that's what Richie liked to chant when we were leaving the last game of the NLDS here in Arizona. And I was like, Richie, quiet. I'm not getting in a fight as I'm leaving. I was like, it's been a bad enough day as it is.
I was just angry.
I know. But, I mean, it's good to know that they didn't win. And, I mean, if LA had a pool, I would have hoped someone would have jumped in their pool and peed in their pool. I mean, everyone always pees in the ocean, and that's their pool, right?
Yeah, so I'm sure they did that. Maybe how do we know that the Astros didn't go down to like Hermosa Beach and start peeing in the ocean?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, like, you know what? Next time I'm in LA, I'm gonna do that just for just for the symbolism of it all.
That is disgusting. Don't do that.
Oh, come on, Richie.
Old no fun Richie over here and not wanting to pee in the ocean.
But some other really cool things came out of this, like Correa proposing to his girlfriend. Every time I kept on watching that video, I just kept on thinking to myself, first of all, they could have at least moved the little gate that she was behind because she had to like pick up a blue gate just to get to him, to make it a little better. 2, it was the shortest proposal he could have actually done. He just quickly like said that she meant the world to him and then like proposed. And then 3, it was just so adorable. Like, it was so cute. The fact that, you know, it was a huge moment for him and he was able to share it with her in that way and have it be a big moment for both of them for the rest of their lives to remember. And that's awesome. So congratulations to them. And I'm super glad that that's how that ended up happening. And then on the other side of things, you have Justin Verlander, who was supposed to be at the parade today and was not because he was going to Italy to get married to his fiance, the Sports Illustrated cover model that you all know as Kate Upton. And some people were a little angry about this.
Can I go back to Carlos Correa just momentarily?
Yes.
So I missed the entirety of Game 7 because I was.
Oh yeah, you passed out.
Yeah, I was out of town. I was in Vegas, and we flew back like right at the start of the game. And by the time I got home, it was already like 5-0, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna bother watching this. But I did wake up, and the first thing I saw was Carlos Correa proposing, and that's cool. Good for him. That was really fun. Like, that's like for a game that was terrible and completely unmemorable for a Game 7, and was a great series to this date.
But I would like. All the other games were insane, though.
Yeah, the first 5 games were pretty awesome.
And I mean, the people in Houston deserve to get some sleep because, I mean, in all of these, they were multiple hours behind.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've had many sleepless nights.
So congratulations to Carlos Correa. This reminded me of many, many years ago during the Fiesta Bowl when Boise State beat Oklahoma, and their running back, Ian Johnson, proposed to one of Boise State's cheerleaders right after the game. Fun fact. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that. But yeah, there's been a few of them where people would, you know, so one guy too, like, proposed to one of his girlfriend was a dancer for one of the NBA teams and proposed to her on the court. Like, all these like really publicized proposals are always adorable. I mean, I always have to wonder what it's like to be the person that's like, oh, all these people are watching you, like, basically get engaged. And like, she was so shocked to the point where she was like holding her face and was not, you know how people kind of have like an ugly cry face? Hers was kind of like a little bit of an ugly surprise face. And I don't say that because she's ugly, she's gorgeous. But I just know, like, as a woman, I would look back at that and be like, it is a wonderful moment, but I have like such an ugly surprise face. Like, that's how I would look back on that and be like, oh, I should have been prettier when I was surprised.
So cute. They were so cute. Little couple.
It was adorable. I absolutely loved it.
But yeah, Justin Verlander missed the freaking parade on Friday because he's off getting married to Kate Upton. And people were pissed, apparently. Can I read some tweets?
Oh, yes.
One dude says, so we know who wears the pants in the family. Verlander finally earns a parade, misses it because, all in caps, Kate wants to get married now. Another one quickly. So Verlander went to get married instead of being with his team today? Not a good look, man.
You have to expect that they probably have planned this out for a very long time. So it's not like she was like, oh, you guys just won the World Series. Let's up and go get married. It was probably planned out for a long time. They've set this date. They have a place, you know, that they're going to get married this weekend. And I'm sure it costs quite a bit of money all the way out in Italy, and I'm sure all their family members are shipping themselves out to Italy for it. Like, it's not like she had plotted against him being in the parade. Everyone, I think, took that a little bit too far.
Yeah, go get married, dude. Like, you're married to Kate Upton. Like, it doesn't get much better. You just won the World Series, and you're going to go get married. It doesn't get much better than that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, the two winners of all of this is Correa and Verlander, because of the fact that one of them got engaged to a gorgeous woman and the other one is getting married to a gorgeous woman.
Another thing, too, is because they probably made this date thinking that Justin Verlander was going to still be pitching for the Tigers. The Tigers had no chance of even making the playoffs.
Yeah, you can't predict that you're going to win the World Series.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing that, you know, Houston was able to acquire Verlander because that's what made such a huge change for them. I don't think that they could have done what they did in these 7 games without Verlander being in them. So I definitely think that he made the difference there. But how can you predict that? Like, you
Right.
can't just. A lot of times you plan a wedding for like a year or 2 years in advance. I don't even know when they got engaged. But I mean, like, how can you predict a year ago, oh, I'm going to win the World Series?
Yeah. And quickly, before we go here, I would just like to point out how wrong I was in my World Series predictions. I think I got everything wrong. I got home runs wrong because they set a record for home runs in a series, well over 20. Clayton Kershaw shit the bed in game number 5, correct?
Yes.
Game number 5. He started game number 5, blew a lead in that game. So I was completely wrong. I
Uh,
picked the Dodgers to win. Just don't even listen to me on this damn show anymore because apparently I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, one game ended up looking like a football game and not a baseball game. So that's that you can be forgiven for that because that is just freakish. It's not anything that's going to normally happen in your World Series.
And we'll put a cap on the World Series talk here. But first, let's take a jaunt into Cori's corner.
Welcome in, Sporty Nation, to my corner. And as you will remember, last week, in my corner, I talked about how Arizona fans need to be diligent and they need to stick by their teams and be so incredibly loyal. And the only way to raise the fandom in this state and the only way to make these teams be able to make enough money to be able to afford these high-class players like JD Martinez is if you are attending those games and supporting the teams and buying their merchandise. And I had this whole long corner last week, and I will have our director and editor Fern over here focus in on Richie with his Golden Knights shirt. I'm highly embarrassed, everybody. I apologize in advance. But I would like to ask the Sporty Nation, is Richie a person who has grown up in this wonderful, glorious state of Arizona and has been a Coyotes fan, has covered the Coyotes, and has a deep love and devotion for Tobias Reeder? He would be very disappointed in you right now, Richie. And is he a traitor for becoming a fan of the expansion team that is automatically doing so well right out of the gate? I mean, you might say that he's just, supporting the desert teams, but then at the same time, it is the duel in the desert or desert duel, whatever they decided upon. So would that make them our number one rivals? So would he be supporting our number one rivals? So that is something to ponder. I just wanted to come to you, Sporty Nation, to ask, do you think Richie is a traitor? Thank you.
Cori, I'm quitting the show. That was the meanest 2 minutes you've ever done to me in my life. I don't like it at all. I'm sorry.
That was probably the best response you could have to that.
With that said, can we move on and talk Diamondbacks now?
Yes, we may talk about an Arizona team. I mean, at least you're not wearing a Dodgers hat or something.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, disgusting. You'll never catch me in a Dodgers or Yankees cap or anything.
One of our producers over there is a Yankees fan. So
Awkward silence. That's exactly why I said it.
Oh, he's getting feisty over there. It gets heated up here in Sporty here. It gets pretty heated. We all like to give each other a bunch of crap. Let's just say that.
Yes, we do. And speaking of let's go not crap instead. If we do that and talk about the 20th anniversary Diamondbacks.
Yes. So we have put together a somewhat unified roster for all overall, like all 20 seasons, each position who we thought would be the best in that position. Our first one is the most obvious of them all.
Yes, but first, shout out to Dback Days, Twitter and Instagram, who's been running a contest on his page, which inspired us to do this. So again, he was the guy who created our logo kind of gave us that sweet background that you can see on our Twitter and Instagram pages. But go vote on his Instagram page for the ones you think, and then you can tell us who you think as well. But let's begin with pitcher.
Like I said, this is probably the most obvious one that we could choose because he is a Hall of Famer, and he is one of the tallest men that I've ever stood next to. That would be Randy Johnson.
Oh, that's an easy one. Obviously, what, four Cy Youngs with the Diamondbacks and what, 6+ seasons with them. That was an easy choice. Absolutely. You also maybe said Curt Schilling, I guess.
I'm not as enthused about that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Curt Schilling wasn't around very long. Ian Kennedy was an ace at the time. Some point in time could have gone with him, but Randy.
And then moving on to catcher, your pick was?
So we disagreed a little bit on this one. I was more attached. Look, I think 90% of my picks were 2001 championship Diamondbacks. So easy peasy for me. It's Miller time, ladies and gentlemen. Damian Miller is my catcher.
I chose Chris Snyder because I was trying to do some outside of that 2001, because obviously that's the World Series winning team. So obviously I would initially go to that team, but I just feel like it's really biased just to choose them because they won the World Series.
Oh, I don't care if we're biased because that was the best team the Diamondbacks have ever put together. So
That is true.
Make them all, baby.
That's true. But I chose Chris Snyder.
Okay. Good player.
As for first base,
should we say it together? 3, 2, 1, Goldie!
Yes, I mean, I don't think there was any other option.
Travis
for that.
Lee. Travis Lee.
I mean, Goldie is the face and the framework of this team currently, and has been for a while. I mean, everyone was comparing Goldie's picture from 2011 when they were celebrating to now, and that was his rookie season. So, it's just really interesting to see how he's growing with this team and how this team has been evolving with him. So I definitely say that
multi-time MVP candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people literally paint their entire bodies in gold just for Goldie.
Goldschmidt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you guys haven't followed us on Twitter, you should, because when baseball season starts up again, Richie loves using the I love gold.
I love gold
meme every single time anything has to do with Goldie.
Yeah, so sorry, Lyle Overbay, you did not make our list.
No. Yeah. I'm a little bit ruthless today, guys. Sorry.
Second base.
We actually had two different people on this one as well.
Yes.
I had Craig Counsell.
Terrific manager with the Milwaukee Brewers. Big part of the bottom of the ninth inning in the 2001 World Series. So I can see I want to put him on this list, but he does not, to me, he's not a second baseman. He was more of a shortstop.
Well, I feel like he needs to still be acknowledged.
He needs
somewhere.
to be on there somewhere. Okay.
Yes.
That's fair. My pick, though, is kind of a personal choice. Former coach with the Diamondbacks. My second favorite player growing up, Jay Bell.
I can accept that.
One-time All-Star, played in the league for many, many years. This, again, 2001 World Series team is always just going to hold a place in my heart, so I have to choose Jay Bell.
I mean, it should hold a place in every Arizona fan's heart, considering the fact that that's the only thing we can truly be proud of.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for shortstop, you chose.
I chose. Now this one was tough because I have two choices here, and going back and forth between the two, I had to go Craig Counsell.
And I chose Womack.
Tony Womack, one of the 2 of the 3 biggest hits in Diamondbacks history. Tony Womack, so good choice there. He obviously had the hit to beat the Cardinals in the division series, and he also had the hit to tie the game in the bottom 9th inning against the Yankees in Game 7 of the World Series. So great choice. Very good choice there.
Thank you. As for third base, we seem to be hitting a threesome of sorts.
Yes, that's one way to put it. One way to put it. Because you have 2 newbies that you kind of liked. And again, I have to go. I'm going old school again because a lot of the new, so who are your 2 choices?
Reynolds and Lamb.
Yeah, so they're kind of new guys. Jake Lamb hasn't been around too long. His time with the Diamondbacks is still young. So
I still feel like he has a very bright future.
Oh, of course he does. Absolutely. He's had great seasons. Same thing with Mark Reynolds. He had a span here of about 2 to 3 seasons where he was smoking the baseball, but he just wasn't around long enough to kind of be an all-time team member like Matt Williams, who is my choice for third baseman.
2 of my choices in this are based on what I think they will do in the future. I know technically if this is supposed to be, over the 20 seasons who I would choose, but I just feel like the future is so bright for 2 people that I chose them based off of that.
Okay, that's fair. So, and also Matt Williams is one of the racing legends.
Yes, he is.
So it's kind of hard not to pick Matt Williams as a racing legend.
He's Matty.
Yes.
That's what he is in the racing legend.
Sure.
Because they go off of
Matty, Gonzo, Randy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Gracie.
Yep.
Who did not make our list at first base, by the way. We overlooked Gracie. Sorry, Gracie.
That's okay.
Left field. Let's do the same thing. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Gonzo!
Gonzo!
Yeah, okay, that's fair. His numbers were tired up in the rafters with Randy Johnson, so too easy.
Yeah, I mean, that one was pretty obvious. I don't think there was any other choice. I mean, he's also an amazing guy, too.
Yes.
He's super nice. One of the best people to talk to. So, on that side of thing, because he, still does so much with the team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in the regards of when he was playing actually as a player and being, a helper at the Diamondbacks, he's just been amazing. Both ways.
Concur. To right field?
And this is my other one where I chose someone that I think based on their future. And I think as long as he stays here, I hope he does, JD Martinez.
That is a bold choice. I dig it. But just because for what he did in the 4 months, July, August, September, 3 months. 3 months he was a Diamondback. He had the 3 best months a Arizona Diamondback has probably ever had. So I can't fault you for that. Again, it's just such a short period of time that it's tough to choose him.
I'm just saying, if I don't do many trend charts, but if I was to do a trend chart, I think his stock would be rising.
I agree. And again, like we said last week, hopefully he returns to Diamondbacks. He did sign with a new agent in the last week since we recorded last. He signed with Scott Boras, who is the infamous sports agent who slowly tries to pull every single dollar out of the team that wants him. So it's going to be a little sketchy talking to him. Good luck, Mike Hazen. But our pick for right field, you said JD. I'm picking Justin Upton.
I couldn't off of the way that he left because of the fact that he was such a toxic person to be around. I just felt like I don't want the toxicness on my wonderful team of fantasy 20 years,
Yeah. And again, the right field list was really shallow. There wasn't a lot of people to choose from.
That was one of the ones there was the, pitchers was lengthy, and then there was right field that was like, eh.
Yeah. It was like Reggie Sanders, Justin Upton, Sean Green.
It
those
was
types of players.
It was very miniature.
And finally, center field.
We both said the same answer.
Yes.
And it was Finley.
Steve Finley, absolutely. One of the greatest defensive center fielders of our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And he could also swing a little bit of a bat, too. He had 30 home runs a couple times. Remember the 2001 World Series team as well. So there you go. That's our list. All right, Sporty Nation, it is now time to wrap up the show as we always do here on Sporty with Cori and Richie Suave. It is now time for my Dick of the Week. And this week it is a pizza chain for being a total douchebag. Papa John, good friends with Peyton Manning, makes pizza. Some of it actually pretty good. Yes, I said that. Here's what he said that makes him the Dick of the Week this week. He said that he thinks that Commissioner Roger Goodell is to blame for why Papa John's sales and shares are dwindling. He says, quote, "Leadership starts at the top, and this is an example of poor leadership. The NFL has hurt Papa John's shareholders." Yeah, that's probably not true, Papa John. You're a conservative. I know that. And you're getting pissed because players are kneeling during the national anthem. You're angry about it, so you're trying to play the money card and take it away from the NFL. So have at it, Papa John. If you want to take your money away from the NFL, good job. I just won't buy any of your damn pizza. So, Papa John, you are my Dick of the Week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week on Sporty with Cori and Grijalva. We'll talk to you again next week. Good night and good sports, everybody.